What have the last few weeks been like?
Very difficult, and the main reason why it's been difficult is that I've seen the stress and the hurt that Azeem Rafiq has gone through. I care hugely about cricket. I care hugely about Yorkshire cricket, and I can see that, you know, Yorkshire Cricket Club in particular has not dealt with this situation at all well. I see a young lad, someone that I played with, that has gone through a huge amount of hurt. I have to take some responsibility for that because I played for Yorkshire County Cricket Club for 18 years. And if in any way, shape or form I'm responsible for any of his hurt, I apologise for that. You know, seeing a young person sit in front of the parliamentary committee in tears, going through his experiences, you know, that hurts.
I'm sure you've gone over many conversations you've had in the past over the last few weeks. Did you, during your time at Yorkshire Cricket, did you ever make any racist comments?
No, I didn't. No. I've got to be honest, Dan. You know, 18 years in a professional dressing room, 10 of those with England. I'd be lying if I would sit here now and say that I never heard words or conversations that I would certainly pick out now. You know, we're a long way on from that. I believe society is a different place. I believe we're in a world now that we all know that things back then were wrong. And we believe that now things are right and getting better. And that's the platform that I think we all want to try and create. How we move on from this situation is the key. And I firmly believe that if it's education, honest conversations, people admitting that things may have been said and sticking their hands up and saying, yeah, maybe I did say one or two things, and back then it wasn't deemed to be offensive, but obviously now it would be.
Let me just read you the quote that 3 players say that you said to them. "Too many of you lot, we need to do something about it." Do you in any way remember or recognise those words?
I don't. My recollection from that day, as I've said, I was a Yorkshire player for 18 years. I was the first player to sign for that club that was not born in the county. So for 18 years we've gone from me being the first to sign for the club, for Sachin Tendulkar to be the first overseas, to players being able to sign from other clubs. And it was my last few games, and I just remember it clearly that I was proud as punch that we had 4 Asian players representing Yorkshire County Cricket Club. Nothing but a proud senior, old pro just about to retire. Absolutely delighted that Yorkshire have come so far in my time at the club.
Are they lying, Michael?
I think we've got to move on from you know, accusations of conversations from many years ago. There's a bigger picture here. I've said from the minute that this has been talked about that Yorkshire have dealt with it terribly. They avoided it. They thought it was going to go away. They were stubborn into thinking that this wasn't going to come out. And for that, you know, I can apologise on behalf of an ex-Yorkshire player. I always believe that when you're a Yorkshire player, you're always a Yorkshire player. So what Azeem has gone through over the last few years, and obviously his campaign in the last year, it would have been awful for him to try and do. I think we're all responsible as ex-Yorkshire players, because we've all got to take responsibility that the important aspect of a dressing room is culture, and it has to be inclusive. And I feel throughout my whole time I can look back and I honestly believe that it was inclusive, but I'm more than happy for someone to come and have a conversation with me to say that it wasn't.
Can you see that there is a difference between you saying, if I upset him, I apologise, and I'm sorry?
Yeah, I mean, again, we can go around corners in terms of having a conversation about that day. I can apologise if I was involved in any way, shape or form in a dress room that had a culture that wasn't inclusive for everyone. My recollections are of all the dress rooms that I played in, that we were inclusive to everyone. But I'm more than happy for people to come forward and say, you know what, that wasn't the case.
Michael, you said you listened to the DCMS hearing where Azeem Rafiq spoke for quite some time. Can I just ask you to press play on that and to watch what he said about you?
It was a long time ago. Michael might not remember it, as I said about earlier, because it doesn't mean anything to him. But three of us, myself, Adil and Rana, we remember it. I've spoke to Adil at length about this. And Michael to use this platform at the Daily Telegraph to try and discredit before even anything being spoken about was, again, he clearly had a snippet of my statement.
I mean, there's two specific allegations in that. Let's deal with the last one first, the Daily Telegraph article. Do you regret writing that?
I don't. But I will say that I think the whole of this situation, I think many will regret. And I regret many things about it. December the 15th was the first time, 2020, that I got given a statement with these allegations, 11 years on from the game itself, and that hurt me deeply. It hurt me deeply to think that a player didn't feel I was inclusive towards them in a team environment. I always has felt that in my time playing the game, either as a player and now as a broadcaster, for 30 years, I've always felt that I am that person that includes everybody.
The other thing he raised was that he said you probably don't remember making the comment because it doesn't mean anything to you, which is almost as damaging as the allegation of the comment itself.
No, that hurts. That hurts because I've always felt that every single team that I've been involved in, the biggest praise I ever got as the England captain for 6 years was that I was the kind of person that really galvanised the group, got the team working together as one. I always felt that I was the person in a dressing room that really wanted everyone to feel included.
You say you want to prove that you're not that person. I know this is uncomfortable. I'm going to read some things that you've put on social media in the past, and I'd love to get your reaction to them, because people, I think, are adding these together and saying, you might say you're not that person, but this might suggest something otherwise. There's old tweets of yours that have been doing the rounds in the last few weeks. From 2010, you said, not many English people live in London. I need to learn a new language. And you also said, why when you ring 118 118 are all the people who answer foreign? Can't make heads or tails of what they're saying. Annoying. And then finally, in response to the actor Adil Ray and presenter after the Manchester Arena attack in 2017, you suggested it might be appropriate for the cricketer Moeen Ali to go around asking Muslims he doesn't know if they're terrorists in between test matches. This is the quote. If it's going to help our kids' future and environment become a safer place, then you said that should happen. Now, those are your words, those are your tweets. That's how you have chosen to portray yourself online. Is that who you are?
Dan, I look back at my 12 years on social media. I regret many tweets. I regret the tweets that you've just read out. I apologise deeply to anyone that I offended with those tweets.
Would you not send those now?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Times have moved on, and I regret those tweets. And I regret many things I've done in my life. I regret things I've done this week. You know, we all make mistakes, and in my life I've made quite a few mistakes on Twitter. I apologise for that, but I can't suddenly get rid of it. That's happened. You know, I hope people realise and know me. You know, I think sometimes through social media, people can presume who you are and interpret who you are because of a tweet or two. I know who I am, and I hope the people around me who are close to me know exactly who I am.
Does it embarrass you when you read them back?
Yeah.
And you feel you're a different person now?
Absolutely.
Let's talk about Yorkshire, because you were a player at Yorkshire County Cricket Club from 1993 until 2009. Can you give us an insight? Because lots of people have talked about the culture at the cricket club. You were there for a long time. What was it like?
You know, it was an environment that you knew you had to work hard. It was an environment that, you know, you tried to win. I never felt anything but welcomed.
And during your time there, you said you listened to what Azeem Rafiq said at that DCMS hearing, where he talked about some of the racist comments that he'd had said to him, and some of the cultural issues at the club as well. Were you aware of that during any of your time?
No, I never heard that. As I said before, I heard plenty of things in my 18 years as a player in a dressing room which you would not even consider to be acceptable now. And I would say any sports person that's out there from that era that says otherwise, I don't think they're telling the truth. There were things said, and back in the day, it wasn't deemed to be offensive. It would be now. I never heard racial language in the dressing room.
There's an Indian batsman, Cheteshwar Pujara. You in 2018, when India were playing Australia, you said he was one of the great guys of the game. What an innings from him. But you said Steve, as they call him at Yorkshire, because they can't pronounce his first name. Now, that was just 3 years ago. Is that acceptable now? And do you regret saying that? And do you think that, can you see how something like that, where you can't say someone's name because they're from a different culture, can be a problem?
Yeah, I can completely accept that. Clearly, we're in different times now. As you said, that's 3 years ago, and that's how much times have moved on in the 3 years. So when you start talking 12 years, 15 years, 20 years, everything is moving so quickly. I just think we're in that situation now for the game, sporting dressing rooms, not just cricket dressing rooms, where I think everyone needs to know. I think everyone needs to be educated, understanding. And the only reason and why we can get to that is by having conversations. I think everyone needs to know now, where is that line? Where is the line that can happen in the dressing room and this can't happen? It may have happened back in the day, but it now can't happen.
Does cricket have a problem with racism?
Yeah, and I think cricket has to accept that problem. And this is why I'll keep saying that we need conversations. We need to be open and honest. We need to be very understanding. We need people to come forward and tell their stories. I hope in 5 years' time, Dan, we're looking back and I hope I'm sat here talking to you and we go, that was a line in the sand moment for cricket.
Many people will have seen that the BBC have taken you away from your cricketing duties at the moment. Where are you at the moment with that? What have they said about the future?
Yeah, I won't be doing the Ashes, which, you know, I understand, you know, editorial at the minute. The story is all about Azeem Rafiq and racism in the game of cricket. I get that. I just hope in time I get that chance to come back. And the one thing that I've loved more than anything since I retired is talking cricket. I love being on Test Match Special, and hopefully in time I'll get that chance to do it again.
Have they said there is a time when they will reconsider you coming back to the job?
No, we're having ongoing conversations, you know, and I think that's the right way forward. I just hopefully next year I can get back working with the team. BBC Cricket Test Match Special, it's been my one joy. I've had a few, but since retiring in 2009, it's been my real joy of being able to turn up and talk cricket on the radio, and hopefully I'll be able to do that in the future.
Do you think you can rebuild your reputation, Michael?
Yeah, I do.
Is it a long road?
Look, it'll take time. I have no doubt about that, but I'm sure over time people will see the true me.
Michael, you said you wanted to sit down with Azeem and hear his story. The chances are he could be watching you this morning. He could be watching this now. What would be your message to him?
I'm sorry for the hurt that he's gone through. Yorkshire County Cricket Club, I believe, is me. You know, that's been my life. Whether I'm a player or not, I'm a senior ex-player, an ex-England captain, and I believe that once you've played for Yorkshire, you're always a Yorkshire player, and I'm sorry for all the hurt that he's gone through. Hopefully, time I don't think can ever be a healer in the situation that he's gone through, but hopefully time can be a way of us making sure that Yorkshire County Cricket Club never goes through this situation again and never puts themselves in a position of denial that they treated a player so badly.
Do you think you can repair that relationship with him?
I think anything's repairable. I think anything in life is repairable. I think if you're willing to be honest, open, mature, have conversations, I'd love to get to a stage where I can shake his hand and have some conversations about how we move forward, how we get cricket back on track, how we get Yorkshire County Cricket Club back on track. Can we both help? Can we both help the club to try and get to a position that in 5 or 10 years' time we can look at this moment as being that moment that changed the game? I'd love to be a part of that, and I'm sure Azeem would also like to be a part of that.